Hey, this is Dave Sherwin. Welcome to part 3 of the mini course, Activate Your Superpowers with a Virtual Assistant. By now you've learned everything you need to know to find a VA, to hire a VA, all the do's and don'ts, the places to find them, etc. And now we're ready to get to work. And what is step 1? Step 1 is build a relationship. Remember, all business is relationships. And what you want to do when you're first getting to know your VA and they're getting to know you is use the most high-touch communication possible. For example, if you can talk on the phone or do a video chat, it's a lot more personal than email or something like that. So try to actually talk to them so that you can get to know them. Don't be afraid to ask some questions about them and their family, their background, their education. For example, their likes, their hobbies and things like that, and tell them the same things. And as you share those things and they get to know you as a real person, you will have more success with people that you are open with and that get to know you and like you, and then the trust starts to build. And so it's important that you spend that time. Don't be afraid to learn about their culture and to ask thoughtful questions and to be a little bit vulnerable yourself, letting them know about you personally, not just as an entrepreneur. Methods of communication. Now, I tend to favor the free methods of communication because in everything that I'm training people on, we already have enough expenses in our business lives, and we're trying to keep those down as much as possible. And I have never found a reason to pay for any tool to work with my VA. I've used Skype, Google Docs, and email to great effect. And by the way, in the workbook, there's a link to a blog post on my blog that has actual pictures of the working Google Docs that I use on a daily basis to work with my VA. Now, GoToMeeting.com costs money, and I happen to have it anyway. So if you have it, I highly recommend it as a way that you can actually show your VA things that you're trying to describe and things like that. If you don't have it, it's not worth buying just for that. There's other ways and free services that you can show your desktop to somebody from a remote location. So if you don't have GoToMeeting, go find yourself a free software to do that. Now that you've got to know them and you've got some tools of communication, you want to set milestones and expectations. It's important that you make the terms very clear. Make sure they understand exactly what it will take to give you satisfaction on a particular job. Only give one assignment at a time if possible. Don't put more than one item in an email. Don't leave messages over 30 seconds. These are great life rules anyway, not just with a VA, but anyone you're communicating with. This next one's a little hard for people, but take 100% responsibility for the level of communication. It's your fault if they don't understand what you're trying to communicate. This can be frustrating. It may even be unfair. But if you take the stance that communication is 100% your fault, then it will make you communicate very, very clearly. And this may take you a few weeks to get to know your VA and how you can communicate so clearly that it's impossible for them to misunderstand. Remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Show them examples wherever possible. If you want a website built, kind of like one you've seen before, show them that website, etc. Stay in touch often. That's also critical. Don't expect them to do a 7-day task and for them to show up on day 7 with it perfect exactly the way you wanted. Better for you to take the time to touch base daily, keeping them on track and thinking and finding out about the issues they run into that you hadn't even anticipated when you give the assignment. It may change and evolve as it goes, and so stay in touch. Honor your own commitments. Don't expect them to go above and beyond. These are hourly employees with an hourly employee mindset. And don't expect more than that. If they do go above and beyond, that's great. Be excited about that. But don't expect it. Reward them and praise them for doing what you asked them to do correctly. Make sure and pay on time. And be careful, because over time the quality can decline while the price goes up. You've got to hold people's feet to the fire sometimes if that starts to happen, and make sure and stay on top of that. Don't be afraid to call them out on it if you notice it's taking longer to get stuff done, but they're asking for more money. The 3 laws of mentoring. Teach your VA. Test to make sure they understood what you taught, and then trust them to do the job. Don't micromanage. Communicating often is different than micromanaging. Teach them, test them, and trust them to do the job. Also, schedule projects out as far as possible. Try to stay a step ahead of them. A good VA will knock off projects so fast your head will spin. Some of them are even outsourcing to cheaper VAs. And so they increase their bandwidth by having other people help them, which means they can knock off your stuff very quickly. And so be aware of that and make sure you're ready for them. My VA is very, very good. And a lot of times he'll contact me and say, what can I do next? And if I'm not ready, I'm wasting time and money for both of us. Now here's a business growth model that I think will really help you as far as a mindset goes for how you can accomplish some things with your VA. And that is, number one, prove concept, and you do that manually. In other words, as entrepreneurs, we often have all kinds of great ideas on what can be done. But not all of our great ideas are great ideas. Some of them, after proving the concept and trying them, we find out they're not as good as we thought, or they'll be more expensive than we thought, or they won't work as well as we thought. And so now that you've got a VA, you can try out some of these great ideas and test them to see if they work. If they actually work, for example, a new marketing strategy or something like that, then automate it. Take it from a manual process to an automated process. And step 3, once you've automated it, is ramp it up. For example, in the whole VA world, you can prove the concept of working with a VA and having them do money-making activities for you. You can then put them on autopilot, doing those things daily that make you money, and then by ramping it up, you can go to a new VA and have them do the same process, making you more money. Now you got to think like an entrepreneur. In my business experience, I've run across too many people who think this way. I'm too busy to train somebody. You have got to kill that before it kills your business. That's very much like saying, I'm too busy driving to get gas. I'm too busy riding my horse to go get a car. I'm making too much money selling typewriters to research the computer industry. Some of you listening to this are probably too young to know what a typewriter even is. But I think you get the idea. You got to get rid of this type of thinking. Investing in training a VA to do high-level important tasks for you that you don't need to be doing will give you a massive ROI and is well worth investing the time to train them correctly. My call to action for you is to get started right now. Do not hesitate. Do not be too busy driving to get gas. But go out there right now, put everything in the guide into place, find yourself a virtual assistant, put them to work, even if it's only an hour or 2 or 3 per day. And I promise you, as you start to make more money, you will absolutely fall in love with the concept, and your business will grow in an affordable, effective way. And this is Dave Sherwin wishing you success in your business and inviting you to visit us at lighthousemarketingsystem.com or at my personal blog, escapethematrix.net/blog. Thank you very much for watching this mini-series. Good luck with your new VA.